Good evening, Dharmendra Kumar, and welcome again. Good evening, Balbir Singh. Good evening, Bandana, and welcome. We'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. Let a few more join in, then we can start. Good evening, Ananya. Is that you? That's wonderful. You've joined in. Good evening, someone. Okay, I think it's 5 o'clock. We can begin, especially for people who've just joined on time. We should start on time. Um, we'll start with the second mock test. And before I go any further, I wanted to know whether you can see my screen well. Can you hear me well? Just to make sure that everything is in order before we begin. Just give me a yes or no, whatever you say. Okay, I think we can go ahead and look at, yeah, let's start with, of course, I want to introduce my book also, which had come about a month ago, and it has 10 practice papers. Um, and if you've not still got it, you should, because it has a lot of resources. I have a video on this, you can look at that, and in the description, everything is given. Okay, and then we also have um, the 12th class book, which has with it a lot of resources. You can actually learn the entire Python and MySQL without having to download it on your machine. You can do it with an online platform where you can do everything on your phone. Okay, so let's begin with the first question. So we have question one. Which of the following is not a valid Python statement? So which of the following is not a valid Python statement is the first question. And we are just warming up. So this is an easy one for you. I want everybody to look at the question answer, and let me see what we get. Okay, Balbir Singh says A. All right. Dharmendra, that's not free because it's not me who's doing the work. It's a publication, so obviously when they work, they'll ask for some price to it. Okay, Naveen says B, Aryan says A, and let's see if somebody else also wants to answer this. Okay, Dharmendra says C. All right. Um, okay, I think I'll go ahead and look at this question because it has the first statement is it starts with a hashtag, so it's a comment. So this is actually a comment, so it's not wrong to put a comment in quotes. It's okay. The third statement is a past statement, which is also correct because you can put a past statement. Input enter a number is fine because even if you don't want to change it into an int, it's going to give you a number within the quotes. But this one doesn't have a hashtag, so this is the one which has an error because it's a comment, but it doesn't start with a hashtag. So that's the one which is not a valid Python statement. Okay, we move ahead to the second question. Which of the following assignment statements will raise an error? Now, you'll see that there are four statements, and I've specially taken these statements because these statements comprise of lots of concepts. So please give the question number and then the answer, because then I will know that you which one you are answering. All right. So just before you write the A, B, C, D option, just write the question number so I know which one you are answering. So the first one is an assignment statement where I put a variable tube equal to, and it has three variables in the parentheses, which is equal to 20 comma multiplied by 3. The second one has two variables assigned to uh, a number, okay, and the number is 13 raised to power 2. And then we have z, which is assigned the value from a chained comparison operator. There's a chained comparison operator there. In the fourth one, we have a is assigned the value from the comparison statement between 2 modulo 5 and 0. Okay, so question 2. The answer I'm looking for is for question 2. Balbir says A. Dharmendra says A again. All right. Let's see. Others, do you want to answer this one? We are waiting. We'll look at some more answers before I give you. Okay. Sumit also says to A. Okay. Spandan Parida says to A. Okay. I'm getting a lot of A's. Okay. Naveen says C and Aryan says C. Okay. Uh, Now, if you notice, okay, someone also says C. Okay. Um, I think, yes, I've got a few, well, I've got about five, six answers, and they are, some are A, some are C. Okay, someone is again C, yes. Let's look at the answer. Yes, all of them are correct statements because you can assign the values the way they've been given here. You can do that because one, you can do multiple assignments in uh, Python, which is a unique feature. And the other thing is that in tuples, you have a concept called packing and unpacking. So what we are doing here is we are actually unpacking. Okay, so when we assign A, B, C equal to 20, comma, and then multiplied by 3, we say A is 20, B is 20, and C is 20. And then we are doing another concept here, which is called packing, which is just to assign any three values to a tuple. Okay, so the correct, this one is correct. Okay, so this is right. And when I say 3 raised to power 2, so this gets assigned both to this gets assigned both to a and x and y. Okay, so it gets assigned to both x and y. And then I have the next one, which is a chained, so this is also correct. So the chained uh, the chained comparison operator will either give me a true or false, and in this case it's going to give me a false. Okay, so it's going to give the answer as false, and that's going to be the value of z. So is this is also going to give me a false value, and that will be assigned to a. So all these statements are correct. All four of them are correct statements. So the correct answer is C. So that's the right answer, everybody. Okay, and I hope you've got this. So Dharmendra, you want the first one explained again? Okay, the first one out of these, question 2 itself, you want the first one answered? Okay, so the first one is actually going to say, so the first one is, so the answer is none of these, Sumit. A, comma B, comma C is assigned the value 20 because this is a tuple and I've multiplied it by 3. This is actually like writing 20, comma 20, comma 20 in a bracket. So what I'm doing is I'm assigning each of these variables the value 20, and then that gets assigned to this variable tuple, TUP. Okay, so this one is correct. All right. Um, Okay, so the second one, so I think this is clear to everyone, the rest of them. And Sumit, what are you asking me? 4 upon 3 multiplied by 4 minus. So 4 minus 2 is going to be done first because it's in parentheses. And then the division takes place first and then it gets multiplied by 2. Okay, so the division will give you a float, a decimal number, and that will get multiplied by 2. Okay, so moving ahead to question 3. What is the possible outcome for the following? Okay, we did a little bit similar question yesterday. So I've just got you another one. Okay, fourth part, you want the fourth part and in this one, Bandana, I'm assuming this fourth is this one. Okay, so A, so we have A is equal to, just a moment. So we have A is equal to 2 modulo 5 equal to 0, and 2 modulo 5 is going to give you output 2. Like I explained yesterday, if this number is smaller than this number, the output is always going to be this number itself. So 2 is not equal to 0, so A is going to be false. So that's why this is a correct statement. I'm assigning the value of a comparison statement to A. I hope you got this. Okay, next one is No, 4 will not give you, yeah, 4 will give you false means it will give the value of Z as false. Okay. For Sumit, are you talking about, I don't know which part are you talking about, Sumit? Which one? Is it question 2? Question 2 you're talking about? I'll come back to that a little later. Let me just, okay, you want me to run that on Python? Yes, I will. Just one moment. Let's go back first and run this one on Python. Okay. Sorry. Um, so you want this one to be run on. I'm just going to go ahead and okay. So we have this statement. I'm going to print this A here. Okay, let's run this. And it gives you false. So I'm just saying which one of those is going to raise an error. So basically I'm asking you, will we get an error or not? We are not going to get an error in the assignment statement. Okay, so that's the one. All right, now we go ahead to the question 2 again. Sorry, question 3 now. And question 3b, Spandan says B, Aryan says A. Okay, Sumit, I hope this one is clear to you. And then we can go ahead and look at this question. Again, the concept that I just explained to you will apply here. Okay, Balbir says B, Naveen Kumar says B. All right. Okay. I think except one odd person, I think everybody else is saying B here. Harmeek says A. All right. Just one moment. We're going to work this out. 11 modulo 3, sorry, 13 minus 12 plus 2 raised to power 3 raised to power 2. Okay, now we are going to go first with this one, and this is going to give you an output 11. I told you that when the number is less than this number, and that's because when so what we're trying to do here is we divide 13 by 11 and we have to put a 0 here. So for that purpose we have a remainder 11. So just because of that we get 11 here and minus 12 and plus 2 raised to power 9, because this has the associativity from right to left, so 2 raised to power 9. So we get 11 sorry, we get minus 1 here and plus 2 raised to power 9, which is 512, minus 1 plus 511. So this is the answer. And it's not 63 because it's not 2 raised to power 3 raised to power 1. Especially gave you this because I thought, it needed more clarification, because that's one point that gets a little left out sometimes. All right. So here we go to the next question. I hope this is, I hope power has right to left associativity. Okay, yeah, right to left, right. So let's look at the um, next question. Okay, so given your given grade is equal to 11, age is equal to 14, if grade equal to 11 or grade equal to 12, and age greater than 15, print you are eligible for the competition, else print you can try again next year. Now, what will be the output of this statement? Um, for the fourth question, I'm awaiting the answers. All right. You have to tell me which one of these statements will be the output. Okay, Balbir says C. Is C for question 4, Balbir? Dharmendra says B. Okay, Harmeek says B. Dharmendra says 4B. Yes. Um, Bal- Balbir says A. Okay. Spandan says B. Someone says it's B. Um, Bandana, what is that child? Okay, B. All right. Okay. Everybody, well, you're in for a surprise. The answer is actually D. This is the correct answer. Okay. So sorry, nobody got that right. Nobody got that right. All right. I'm sorry that, well, it's actually you are eligible for the competition, and can somebody tell me what would be the reason why it's giving a wrong output like this, even though the age is greater than 15 as per the if statement, but why is it giving me D as the output? It's going to give me D as an output. Aryan, yes. Can you explain why did you get D? Which would apparently be the wrong answer, but in this case, you're going to get D. Why? Would somebody like to answer this question? So if grade equal to 11 or grade equal to 12 and age greater than 15, it still says you are eligible for the competition because and has higher priority than or. So precedence, you have to go by precedence. So what would be the right thing to do here would have been give a bracket here. All right. Listen very carefully now. Now what happened here was, why did we get that output was that, when we tried to we began with comparing these two things. So we said grade 12 and age greater than 15. Now both these conditions, um, so this condition is going to give you a false. All right. So these two are going to go first because and has higher priority. So these two will be looked at first. So once they looked at, very good, Aryan. So there's false here, and then this false is going to be compared with if grade equal to 11 or false. So this is true. And so or false is going to, so true or false. So that's going to give you a true. And when you get a true, you are eligible for the competition. Now that's a discrepancy. And I hope no institution puts like this because then everything goes haywire. So you have to have a bracket here. Now, what will that ensure? That will ensure that the or takes place first. And if this is true, then it will compare and this is false. So it will say you can try again next year. So I hope you understood this, that the importance of the precedence is that you could get something like this, a wrong output. Okay. And so good for you. Some of you, I hope, have understood this concept that, logical operators, the priority is very, very important. The precedence is very important. Okay, coming to a question, I have changed the form of a question I had yesterday. If you, some of you were there, so yes, we can call it a logical error, Balbir. Absolutely right there. Okay, so coming to question 5, we have a function answer and x. If x, return great, else return well done. If not x, return that's right, else return this is correct. Now, something like this we did yesterday, but there's a big difference. So let's see how you answer this one. Waiting for the answers of the fifth question, everybody. So I'll, okay, 5D. All right, both A and B. Aryan says D. Okay. Vandana says D. All right. Someone says D. Harmeek says A. Okay. Naveen says D. Okay. Remember what I told you yesterday. Just remember what I told you yesterday about return statements. If you were there yesterday, we did have a discussion on return statements, remember? Spandan says D. Okay. All right. Now, just because we shouldn't run out of time. The answer is actually A. All right. Now, why is the answer A? Okay, someone says A. Aryan has changed to A. Harmeek has changed. Harmeek gave A. Okay, it was A because um, you see, well done is the answer if x. Now, x was 0. X is 0, and yesterday I told you 0 is false. Other than 0, everything else is true. All other numbers are true. Even a negative number takes us true. But 0, it takes us false. So what happens here is it's going to take this as false and return well done. Once it has that return statement, it's not going to execute any other statement. Remember, I told you that yesterday, that anything that follows a return statement does not get executed. So even if it is an if statement, return statement, else statement, it's not going to get executed once a return statement is executed. So the answer is well done. You can try this out on your computer later on. This video will be there for you to see. You can try this out yourself, and you can check this out again. All right. And this is something I told you yesterday. I told you two things, that when we say a value is 0, it's taken as false. And then I also told you yesterday that if you say return statement, once a return statement is executed, nothing else gets executed after that. Okay, so here goes the sixth question. Now, this is a simple question. Identify the output of the following Python statements. Now, I'm giving you this because I saw a lot of mistakes happen with this program. So just for that sake, I thought I would give you this one, because there's also going to be a while loop question in your sample. It was there in the sample paper, so I think you're going to get one. So I thought, why not this one, which is pretty simple, but let's see. Okay, 6B. All right. Muskan says A. All right. Balbir says D. Okay. All three different answers. Aryan says D. All right. Someone says C. Okay. Okay, Dharmendra. So interested in with the link. But why do you want the PPT? You have the presentation. I mean, you have it on YouTube, right? So Bandana says B, all right. Vishwa Pranesh Ganesan says A. Um, Naveen says D. Spandan says B. All right. See, so many mixed answers. So actually, what happens in this loop is that it's y. Okay, y is the loop condition is y has to be less than 50. Now, when y becomes 48, so when y is equal to 48, it checks here, it is still less than 50. So it goes into the loop again. Okay, it does go into the loop after 48 and turns y into 50. Now the condition gets checked again and it becomes 50 and it no longer goes ahead. Instead, it goes to the statement outside the loop, which is the print statement, and y is printed as 50. So the answer is 50 here. Okay, just because sometimes these very simple questions also can cause some problems. So that's why just wanted you to know that the answer is D here. Okay, the answer is D here, and some of you did get that right. I can see that I saw Balbir Aryan, Naveen. Yes, so it's basically going to be 50 because that print statement is outside the loop, right outside the loop. As soon as y is equal to 50 and it leaves the loop with that value, it's going to print it and it's going to print 50. You can try this out on your computer later on. It's just for, just to get that confusion out of the way. Okay. All right, so uh, let's see. The question 7 is given to you. Dharmendra, I will take your email ID. Maybe I can talk to you later. All right, so question 7 is given to you as a string. All right, and in the string you have, as with CBSE questions, you always have, a list of a string of numbers, special characters, alphabets, uppercase, lowercase. All right. So here we have an empty string, and for letter in this string, if letter is alpha, if not in, now I've added this little twist here also, just to kind of make it a little more interesting. If letter not in UJ, next, sorry, new string is equal to upper, then new string is equal to letter dot lower, and if it is a digit, add a dollar, caret. All this is happening. So let's see what you get as the answer. Spandan Parida says A. Okay. Harveek says A. Bandana says A. Okay. I can see that, you kind of work this out, everybody. except J. Everything else will get capital here because we don't have a small u. We have only J. So J will stay small. All other alphabets get uh, uppercase, and then we have the dollar sign, and which is basically any digit that is there is going to become the dollar sign, and other than the digit we're going to have the caret sign. So yes, got it everybody. Just that this is always there in a paper, I just wanted to put it there. Okay, and I've added a few things over here, so good for you. I think everybody got this one. We can go ahead to question 8. Identify the output of the following Python statements. Again, this is a very straightforward question, but uh, a few questions like this are there in the sample paper, so I thought I would put one today. And I want you to look at, so there's X, which is a nested list. There's Y, which is basically asking for the element at index 2 and 1. So what's going to be the answer? Okay, there is 8B. Bandana says 8B. Spandan says 8A. Someone says 8C. And then Harmeek says 8B. RNB. Dharmendra says 8C. Someone says B. Naveen says 8B. Okay. The answer is again B, because a lot of you got that correct. Yes, B. Because as I told you yesterday, when this goes into print statement, then because it's there in the print with the quotes, what is going to get printed, sorry, what, so this is there in the quotes in the print statement, and yesterday I told you with the print statement only the part which is inside the quote gets printed. So the answer is not going to be the 13, the string is going to be just 13 without the quotes. All right, I hope you get this. So everybody, yes, vote for B. Yes. All right, coming to another one. Again, insert, extend. This time we have pop, and list is -2 only, just to keep it not very tough for the thing. Indexing has to start from 0. Yes, Dharmendra. Um, which mode we are printing? Well, be that answer is done and it's correct, 13. And if you check it on your computer, you will see that the answer is going to be 13. Okay. Okay. We've got the first answer for the ninth question. B. Aryan says C. B. C. Okay. Muskan says A. Okay. Vandana says B. All right. Someone says C. Means script mode or terminal mode. Okay. They're not going to Balbir, they're not going to mention that in the exam. Okay. Consider it to be the script mode. Don't consider it to be the terminal mode at all. All right. Okay, I've got B's and C. All right, let's just look this up first. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth place is going to be occupied by Rust. All right, there's Rust at the fifth place. In the sixth place, sorry, in the sixth place, we will get um, Lisp, right? Lisp. And in the seventh place, we will get Ruby. Now, we also remember we have a pop statement. So Ruby is going to go with the pop statement. So we're not left with Ruby. So when we have this at the sixth place and I say -2, it's -1 here and -2. So it's going to be Rust, which is going to be B. All right. I hope you understood, everybody. Okay. So, yeah, B is the correct answer. A lot of you got B, and that is the correct answer. Coming to question 10. All right, so look at the following code. Again, tuple. Yesterday we did a few of tuples also because that is there in the sample paper. It's going to be there in the question paper. We have this tuple and we have, so what is the output from this one going to be? Yes, pop deletes the data from the end. Yeah, that's right, Dharmendra. In lists, we are not talking about dictionaries, we're talking about lists. Okay, Bandana says D, Balbir says D. Okay, Harmeek says B. All right. Naveen says B. Okay. Muskan says D. Okay. So some of you are getting, yeah, D. So some of you are getting a little stumped by this statement, thinking that this cannot happen, but this can happen because as you can see, this is a tuple. So 1, 2, and the third element, the third index belongs to this list here. Okay. And as we were talking yesterday, this list is something we can change. All right. And when we say 3 comma 1, we are basically going to remove this 30 and replace this with 80. Sorry, 50. We're going to replace this with 50. Okay, and when we replace this with 50, then the sum, this is the sum of the third element of the tuple, and it's going to give you 80. Oh, tuple में नहीं है, 80 तो tuple में नहीं है. 80 is not there in the tuple. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just made a mistake. It's going to be 50. So it's going to replace this with 50. And then when I say find the sum of the tuple, the third element of this tuple, yes, Dharmendra, it's going to replace 35 by 50 because it's a list and a list is mutable. So you can replace something in the list with a new number. So that's the whole concept here, that although the tuple is immutable, but if it has a nested list, you can change this into 50 and then add 10 plus 50 plus 20, and the sum of them is 80. So the answer is B. Some of you did get that correct. Good for you. All right. So I hope you got this, everybody. I hope you got this. We are going to move ahead to the next question. Okay, so uh, I'm going to up the game a little bit here. So there's gaming, which is a list, and the list is an empty list to begin with. And there's a dictionary called game. One hit, two run, three win, four jump, five score. Okay, so those are the key and values. Now, while game, if len game less than equal to 3, break, and then gaming dot append game dot pop item, and then print gaming. So which one out of these lists do you think is gaming? Piyush, you're saying B for this one? Are you saying B for this one? Or which answer are you giving B for? 10? Okay, I think 10. Yeah. What is the answer to this one, everybody? Take your time. Dharmendra, we had to make it a little tough because everybody yesterday said it's very easy. So I said, okay, I'm going to up the game a little bit more today. So today's questions were, this one is a little, I know it's a little tough. But remember, we have to do everything, no? Okay, Piyush, it was the previous one. Okay, fine. So let's see who answers this one correctly. 11A, Hermeek says. Okay, let's wait for more answers, Hermeek. Bandana says C. Okay. Spandan Pareda says B. Hermeek says B now. Okay. Balbir says B, right? Aryan says B. Okay. Piyush says A. Okay. So for those of you who said B, that's the correct answer. And I'm happy that you kind of got this figured out because it's a little on the tougher side. So when I say pop dot item, I'm going to start removing from the end. Remember, in dictionary, there is um, key, there is value, and the combination of key and value is called an item. So when we say pop item, it starts removing from the back. So when it starts removing from the back, this is going to go first into this list. So it's going to append this first into the list. And because it's starting from the back, it will move to the next one, which is 4 jump. That will come next into this list, get appended. And then here it has to check that the length of this game should be greater than or equal to 3. And when it reaches this point, the length becomes equal to 3 now for game because we've removed two things. So it's not going to go any further and it's going to print gaming. So when it prints gaming, so you get these two as the answer. The first one comes from the last item. The second item is the one here. There is no there's no order. There's no sequence in dictionary. So when we say pop item, we are basically saying remove the entire item from the end of the dictionary. All right. I hope you got this, everybody. I hope this was clear to you that when we say pop item, we are removing from the end of a dictionary and a whole item. The entire item means the key and the value together come out, and because pop item returns this deleted item, so that gets appended to the list gaming, and then the second time it takes this entire item 4 colon jump and again appends it to gaming, but then it reaches this if condition where if it is left with only 3 items, then it's going to break and stop. So yes, it should be clear. Piyush, thank you for telling me. I hope you've understood this. Okay, let's go ahead with the 12th question. We have two dictionaries: flight 1, which has value 450, flight 2, which has value 250, and then sorry, 240, and and there's flight fare 2, which is flight 2, which is 210, and flight 3, which is 420. Now what we've done next is we say fare 1 dot update fare 2. So when we, what will be the output for print min fare 1 dot values? We've updated fare 1 with fare 2, and then we have to print the minimum value from fare 1 values. So what would be the answer in this case? Okay, Balbir Singh says B. B. Spandan says B. Yes. I think this one would be a little easier than the last one. Yes, a lot of bees are coming in. Netra is back today. Dharmendra says B. Manish says B. Gurme says B. Aryan says B. Bandana says 13. Why? Okay. I think Bandana, you wanted to say B. So B is the correct answer. That's because this will get updated with this one. So the new value of flight 2 will be 210. So if there is an overlapping value, it gets replaced, and that's why the minimum now becomes 210. I think everybody got this one. So good for everybody. Okay, one last question from dictionaries again. This is because sometimes, I've seen a whole uh, case study based question from dictionaries. So that's why I'm keeping that this also in mind, that you should do dictionaries because there can be like tough questions from dictionaries also. So here we have two dictionaries, one which has colors, one gray, two black, three silver, four white, and then we have model, the year which is given as a number, it's the key 214, so 2014 sports, 2018. Um, okay, good for you, Netra. So 2018 estate, 2019 sedan, 2019 mini. Now, what will be the output of the following? We have model is equal to colors dot copy, and we have model dot pop 3, and then we have print model and we have print colors. So I couldn't fit everything on this particular slide, so I've kind of it's a little crowded, I'm sorry, but try looking and try solving it out. Balbir, are you answering the 13th question? Yeah, because I think you've already answered the 12th one. Yeah, 13B, okay. Bandana says B. Okay. Naveen says B. Piyush says B. All right. Dharmendra says C. Okay, Dharmendra. Okay. Sabiti says B. Okay, I think a lot of you got B, and B is the correct answer. Spandan, you also got B. So, yes, B is the correct answer, and that's because Hermeek, C, why? So, B is the correct answer because we are copying colors into model. So, what happens is that with this copy function, it's going to change model into a version of copy, only a version of copy. So what happens with that is that um, um, if I change something in model, it doesn't have to change in colors. If I had not used that copy command, um, you can just so if you don't use the copy command, both of them, in that case the answer would have been A, but right now we've used copy, so the answer is going to be B. Good. A lot of you got that correct. Now, which of the following function headers is correct? Now, very simple, but I don't know, sometimes there's a mistake in this one. So I'm just going to keep this question because one, it could be part of another question also. And then when there is an error, so everything else makes it an error. So we have a function header here. Just tell me which of these is correct. Spandan says A, Dharmendra says A, Aryan says A, Vandana says A, Naveen says A. Okay, got it. A, you know your default statements should come after the non-default statement. Everybody knows that. Very good for you. Because sometimes we see this error. Okay, coming to the next question, what will be the interval of values for num? Okay, so this is from the modules chapter. Okay, so great, everybody got that one correct. I'm happy to see that. Okay, let's do the 15th question. Import math as empty, random as R, and we have num is equal to empty dot ceil and R dot random multiplied by 1500. 1500. What is going to be, okay? You know what? I had I think I've made a mistake here. I'd actually written something else and I forgot to save that, but that's okay. You can answer this one. Okay. C and A, right? B and okay, I'm getting mixed answers for this. So I'm going to explain this to you. Now, what the random function does is, so random dot random, which you usually see as random dot random, has inclusive, sorry, it has this interval. Okay, so 0 is included, 1 is not included. Okay, 1 is not included. Okay, module is in the syllabus, child. It's just that creating modules and creating libraries is not in your syllabus. Randint, it's there in the syllabus in your sample paper. Crazy Panti. Crazy Panti is your name. Anyway, it's there in the sample paper. There's a question on Randint. Remember, there's that whole question there in the sample paper. So don't forget to do this. It is there in your syllabus, right? So 0 is included. So when 0 is included, it means that it's going to be like, this is correct. But 1500, because we're multiplying by 1500 and 1 is not included, but when I say seal, what will happen is that I can get a number like 14, sorry, 49.9999, whatever. And I can get that. I mean, the possibility is there. So if this is possible, then when I use seal, then 1500 is going to be the output for this one. So anything above 1499, sorry, anything above 1499, anything 0 0.1 will also turn into 1500 because of the math dot seal. So that's why it's going to be A. The answer is going to be A. All right. And so we go with that answer, A. I hope you understood this because we are using seal. Remember, we're using empty dot seal. Seal is going to give the next, integer which is larger than this integer. So the answer is going to be the first one, that is 0 is also included. That is included by default. But 1500 gets included because of seal. Otherwise, it would have not got included. I hope everybody gets this. I hope this is clear to you. We are, we're going to use this. And, you cannot get exactly 1500 when you try this out. But theoretically, it is going to be this one. You can get 1500 as an answer because you multiplied it with 1500 and then you use the empty dot seed. I made that mistake because actually I had written floor. So the answer that you saw right now was for floor, and then I changed it to seal, and then I didn't kind of change the answer. So that answer is wrong, but the answer is A for this one. For the previous one, 15 was A. All right. Okay, going to question 16. What will not be the output of the following code? So remember to read the question well. What will not be the output of the following code? Okay, Dharmendra says if seal was not used, option C would be the correct answer. Let me just check. Uh, yes, you're right, Dharmendra. C would have been right had we not used seal, but we've used seal, so that's going to give you A as the correct answer. All right, I hope you get this. Oops. Okay, go ahead and do it still. Okay, we have import random. All right, and we have uh, a low variable which is randint 1 comma 3. There is random dot randint 2 comma 5, which is a high variable, and for I in range low comma high we say print primes and I and end with M. Okay, so I think you got this one. So yesterday we were talking about how we first need to see what we can get from here. We are going to get 1, 2, 3. What we can get from here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the range can be anything from 1 up to 5. And 5 is not included. So the range can go up from 1 to 4. So if we look at this, we will not get this one. So this is 0. So we don't get this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can't get the fifth one also, because even though we have 5, but because in range it's not going to get counted. The last one does not get counted. So even though we have low goes from 1 to, and then high can go up to 5, but so uh, so the value is only up to 4. So that's why we cannot get 43. So if we look at the answer, this is the one that we cannot get. All right, I hope you get this. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is a function, and we have a global variable here, and outside there we have val is equal to 5. Inside we have val is equal to 10, which is our global variable. And if we say a plus b less than equal to 50, then return val plus a, else return val minus b. Print val end is equal to ampersand. So what's going to be the answer? Aryan, what are you asking for? If low gives A, if low gives. Oh, this one is, so what we can have here is that suppose low is 2, and so how do we get 29? So if low is 2 and high is 3, then what do we get? Because we can get 2 from here and we can get 3 from here. And suppose our range is 2 to 3, then in that case we can get only 29m. I hope you get this. Okay, coming to the next one, 17th question again. So 17D. 17D. Um, I hope you can see my screen properly though. Yeah. Okay. Uh, we'll wait for some more answers. We've got two answers for 17D, and still waiting for more. Okay, Netra says C. Dharmendra says 60 at the rate. Okay. Arjun says D. Okay, I think we'll not spend too much time on this one because we have another few questions to go. The answer for this is going to be C. And that's because, as I told you, uh, this is a statement which will never get executed. It never gets executed because either this one or this one gets executed. And return statements, as I told you, you cannot have anything after that once you have a return statement. So answer is C. The correct answer for this one is C. Everybody? All right. Vandana, yes. Manish, Naveen. Yeah, it's C. Okay, let's look at the 18th question quickly. What will not be the output of the following code? There's a function modify, and it has two parameters, x and limit. And we are going to use that limit for index in range limit. And we say for x index uh, modulo 3 equal to 0, then uh, do the floor division with 3. If it's divisible by 5, do a floor division with 5. And if it is divisible by 7, do a floor division by 7. Now, look at the list here, all right? And then go ahead and see what is modify list 1 comma 3 going to give you. Limit is 3. So remember that how many elements from the list are going to get affected. Just, just giving you a hint here. How many from the list? मतलब list में 4 item है and modify list 1, 3 में वो उनमें से कितने items को देखेगा. तो ये देखना है. So once we have this list refined, after we modify it, it will actually change that list. Okay. And for item in list 1, it will print. So, so 3 is the limit. Okay. Four items in the list. And I think with that, I have confused you even more. just just go by what you want to do. Don't get confused. There's a question like this actually in the sample paper, which is why I've set this question. There's something similar in the question paper. So let's see if you can do this one. I'll just explain, Dharmendra. Let people answer, then I'm going to definitely explain because even in the sample paper there's a question like this. So I want to explain this to you people. Yeah. Naveen says, okay, Bandana says C, Spandan says A, Naveen Kumar says B, Aryan says B, Harmeet says A. Okay. Let's see. Netra, what is your answer, Jay? 18B. Okay. All right. So, should I explain this to you? Well, let's start with what is the, sorry, what is the list? The list has 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now, what happens when I pass this list here is that the list is now going to get changed from 0 to 2 only, because when the limit is 3, it's going to start from 0. It's only going to take the first 3 elements, 1, 0, 1, 2. All right. And when it takes these 3 elements, what is it going to do? First of all, 45. The first element here is 45. So what will it do to 45? First of all, it's divisible by 3. It will divide it by 3. So once it's divisible by 3, actually this doesn't mean anything because it's already divisible by 3. So here it's going to give me 15, and then again it's divisible by 5, so it's going to return a 3. So uh, these are parallel. They are not if, elif or anything. These are parallel. So all of them will be looked at and all of them will take place. Okay, so this one will remove remove 3 from it, and you will get 15 as the output. Then it will give you 3, and 7 doesn't do anything to it because this is not divisible by 3. So you have the output as 3. And if you notice one more thing, that all the outputs have 3 and 1 as the first output. So it's only uh, the element after the first two elements that you need to look at, because those are the ones that you have to see what will happen to them. So let's look at 20. Will it get changed? Yes, it will get changed because you have 0, 1 and 2. So 70 is at place 2. So 70 is going to get changed. What is it going to get changed as? This? No, it's not going to get divided by 3. It's going to get divided by 5, and it's going to get divided by 7. And so the output here is going to be 3, 1, 2, and 10. It's not going to touch 10. 10 will remain as it is. 3, 1, 2, and then 10. All right, so the answer is going to be B. Okay, and I hope you got this one. I hope you've understood what I'm trying to tell you here. Crazy Panti, thank you for doing all that for me. But yes, if you like it, hit the like button, and yes, I'm sure you've all subscribed. That's why you are here. So let's look at 19th question. Very simple, quick answer to this one I'm expecting from everybody. With statement, we have with open the name of the file as my file, and you can write to the file. Then you have the other open statement. You have a third open statement. So check out all the 3 open statements and tell me which one do you think out of these is the correct code. Armik says A. Piyush says A. Okay. Balbir says D. Okay. Dharmendra says D. Mm-hmm. R&D, Manish D. Okay, it is D. All of them are correct, right? All of them are correct, right? D, D, D. Dharmendra, you got this one, right? Let's look at question 20 now. We have a string which says values in a dictionary are mutable, and we are going to use with open dict.text file as a file handle. In the last mock test that I did not do the tell function, so I thought I would use that here now. Okay, what do you think is going to be the value of x? Because tell returns a value, and what is that value going to be in question 20? Netra and Naveen, Spandan, Harmeek, Dharmendra, Banna, Manish, Aryan, everybody got 19 right. Okay, so good for you, children. So we have question 20 where there's a string values in a dictionary are mutable, and with you have the open dict.txt. So 20 B is 0. Okay. Dharmendra says B. Aryan says C. Manish says C. Piyush says B. Netra says B. And okay, the correct answer is C. All right. So the correct answer is 34, which is the length of this string. What happens is that once you've written to a file, then the handle, the cursor moves to the end of the file. Okay. That's where the cursor will be, the file handle will be when you actually output this, because it's coming after the write statement, it will be at 34. Okay, so let's look at a similar question again. So remember this particular string. We are going to use the same thing and do another one more question. Okay, now we have with open dict.txt as file handle. We have position 1, which is file underscore handle dot tell, and file content file underscore handle dot read. Position 2 is again tell statement. Now, which one out of these is correct? For 21st question. 21B. Harmeet says B. Okay. I think you should get this one. Aryan says B. Dharmendra says B. Spandan says B. Bandana says B. Okay. Got it. I think everybody got this one. This is correct. So as soon as you open the file, the cursor is at position 0 here, and then it moves up to position 3. When you when you read the file content, the cursor has moved up till the end of the file, which is 34 position. That's the length of the string. All right. So everybody got this. I hope you understood. Okay. Uh, Let's do question 22 now. Again, this is case study based questions that you get. And yesterday I told you that, you know, there's only so much in CSV and binary that can be, you can get from the functions. There are very few. So look at what you have here and let's see the answer to question 22 now. 21, everybody I think got it, and that's heartening to see that you understood the concept of tell. All right. We have a dictionary, we have a list with with nested tuples, and we have to write it to a file students.csv. Which of these are we going to use in code 1? So we are just talking about code 1 here, not code 2. So 22A comes the answer from Bandana, the first one. Good. And so 22A, Harmeek, okay. I think we'll not waste too much time here because we are going slow. So 22A, everybody, 22A, writer, that's the correct answer. Good for you, good everybody. And then we come to the next part. And I think this one also you should not find it difficult. What is the missing code in code 2? What does the new line do? I think yesterday we were talking about this. What happens with the CSV files is that the CSV file is read in such a way that it handles the backslash n character a little differently. So what it does is it adds backslash n and adds backslash r. So that's what is unique about CSV, that sometimes when this happens, you will start getting in your output one extra line. And because it does that one extra line, we use the new line character with empty string so that the backslash r doesn't take it to the next line and leave a line every time. So that's why, to suppress that end of line handling by CSV. Okay, so which is the answer for um, remember there's an iterable here for student and students, so we are using a for loop in to read that iterable. And what is the function missing here? So everybody gets this one, B. And you know what? I personally think that this is something that you will not get wrong. You'll either have writer, you'll have either have writer rows, maybe parameters and all that. But I don't think you can get this wrong if you've done this well just once, because there are only three functions. There's writer, there's write row, and there's reader. So just go ahead and do these. There's not even write rows in your syllabus, so don't do that one. Last two questions. So this is the first part of that question. It's going to look a little tough, but don't get afraid. My take on this is, sometimes a tough question has to be just looked at with the answer. Okay, so look at the answer. Even in the sample paper, there's one question on binary which is long and winding. You know, reading that question, you think, what is this question about? And the answer and the question and the answer are so simple that they're just asking whether there should be a break statement here to stop this, or there should be a continuous or continue or a past statement. And the question is so easy, but the answer is so easy that you just read the answer and you know the answer. But if you look at the actual total question in that sample paper, you get really scared. So sometimes it's easier to read the answers and answer the question. And this is an example of that. So 24, C, everybody? Is it C? Yes, it's C, because B is the dictionary and B, file, is the file handle. And yesterday, when I was telling you pickle.dump takes two parameters, the first parameter is always an iterable, and the second parameter, iterable, or maybe if it's a function, then maybe that parameter from the function, but most likely it's just going to be an iterable. And then second one is going to be a file handle. So remember, the second variable is a file handle. So these are the things that you need to remember about the pickle.dump function. Okay. So see, everybody, good for you. You got this. Even if you look at the question looks tough. But actually, just look at the answer. This is the last question for the day. So quickly, we've already done line 1. We are just looking at line 2, missing code for line 2. Okay. Oops. I'm so sorry. I think I made a mistake here. So I will answer this question. Sorry, this shouldn't have been here. Remove this. Okay. And now that I've removed it, you know. Oops. I don't know why I've got all wrong. Okay, it has to be this. Load. My mistake. I've got a wrong question. But you know what? In the paper, if you find one question wrong, don't leave it. Answer it. Okay? Answer it still with whatever you think is the answer. But If you feel all four are wrong, give some answer. If you leave it blank, you will not get marks. Just mark it. All right, my 2 cents to you. The last bit of weather. So it's the answer is this. So sorry, we don't have the 25th question. The answer was load and in bracket B file. I don't have that option. I've actually made a mistake here, or I could have removed pickle from here, but it's actually load B file. So go ahead and enjoy your evening further after this. And I hope that all of you score full marks, and all the best to you. Okay, ma'am, it will be C if we cut pickle. Perfect, Balbir. You're right. So, yes, everybody take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay safe, and do well always. Hopefully, I might have another mock test. I'm not sure because I think you're going to be very, very busy. I don't want to intrude on your time so much. Just that I want you all to do well. So, go ahead and nail that, kill the paper, do well, and all the best to all of you. Okay, we are going to stop here, and hopefully you will be in touch on my channel. Okay, see you sometime. Bye.